Okay. Okay. Let's see. Can they hear me, though? That's the question. Mm-hmm. Now, how do you know if you sound good or not? That is the thing I'm confused about. Okay, you can hear me just fine. What about back here? All right, cool. Sounds bad. We'll fix it up. Let me know if it's too loud whenever I'm playing. But yeah, I got a whole bunch of new stuff I'm trying out. I got a webcam now and a decent mic. So I'm trying to learn this right here. I don't know if you can see the light's kind of bright. Is that better? A little bit, not much. Anyway, I'm learning this. I'm taking an audition for. Yeah, it's very close to my desk, so it's kind of hard. But I'm auditioning for the ceremonial brass band for the Air Force, and this is part of my audition. I have to do some marimba stuff, so I'm playing rhythm song, and I also have to do some drum set styles, so along with rudimental stuff. So I'm going to do this and some of the LSU cadence, give some variety. But I just kind of picked this solo out, not really expecting too much from it. I think my friend Christian told me about it, and he said it was recommended to him for a grad audition, and I just kind of took it, and it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. So let me get my metronome. All right. All right. Again, if it's just too loud, let us know. And that's kind of where I'm messing up. It gets like unexpectedly choppy at the end. And I think part of it is because I can't read the notation. It looks really weird. I don't know if you can see this. If it focuses. But there it goes. The music's really dotted and really weird with a lot of drags. Especially right here. That's really, really hard. And I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. You're drawing. Thank you. What you drawing? Sweet. So weird. Everybody, I don't know who's in here. Again, if my mic is too loud or you can't hear me or whatever, let me know. I don't know who's in here. I can't really see names or anything. last bar feels. It's that left hand. It's a comfortable tempo for the little inverted motion. Everything's made of metal, so whenever I hit it, I'm trying to see if I can get the music in the shot. I'm just doing some reps of it. It feels really good now. It's still kind of under tempo. I'm at 108. I'm trying to get to like 113-ish. Put little tonies on it. Put it 110. My career at LSU has prepared me for that measure exactly, because in the cadence they go right there. It's still kind of slow. It's hard to stay on top of it, especially with no accents. Yeah, all those BD guys, everything came from this. This is like the old Wilcoxon book, the modern rudiments, the swing solos, and this is kind of where everybody gets their stuff from. This is like the granddaddy music, which is kind of cool because like I kind of learned it backwards. I went from like kind of like a more contemporary like high school marching band into drum corps into LSU Tiger Band. It was kind of always this like big organized like contemporary feeling to it, and I was also new and didn't understand any of the context, so it felt like it's like a different thing. It's really straight, it's really rhythmically correct, and the integrity of the rhythms is solid. But with stuff like this, everything's super slurred and like everything's notated differently. Like some of the stuff here looks like it would be like really precise, like you would play it on maybe like the 40 rudiment sheet. But when you put it into context and you're playing all this other stuff, it instantly changes and it kind of takes on another character. And that's something that you don't really get except for playing it. So I think that's something cool. And people like to say, snare drum is a very I don't know. I feel like playing snare drum. People are always like, yeah, you can play snare drum, but like, does he know chords? Does he know all the music theory? Does he know secondary dominant stuff? It's like that doesn't come as easily. But I find a certain like kind of art in making one surface sound as different or the same as possible, and I think that's kind of cool. So, anyway, let's get back to it. Like that. If you were to play that really specific, like take a second and kind of look how it's written. I don't know if it's backwards for you guys, so that might be even more confusing to read, but it's basic rhythms. It opens basic, very basic, just it's pretty easy, and all the little drag figures on it kind of really change the way you got to think about it, because you have to let the drags feel good too. You can't let them just sound good. You can't always be really there. It's a little bit more open sometimes, like almost like a really slurred kind of fat diddle. What's up, Tyler? Something I think I've also found after playing this for a little bit now is that the stuff that we play in, at least in Tiger Band, is such a different need and a different sound quality that you're looking for, because you're playing loud, you're playing big stand tunes. Not everything's like kind of like the show music. The show music requires a little bit more delicacy and stuff, but even still, the show music's still pretty beefy sometimes, and we hit the drums really loud. We got to back the whole band. So I notice that whenever I come in here, I have to really lighten up the touch. And it's still rudimental stuff. Like you're still going to play. I could play this on the marching snare at LSU and it'd feel great. I just had to adjust my touch a little bit. But I don't know. It's very interesting. And I'm using a pad right now. I kind of wish I had an actual drum to play this on, but it's too late for that. So the pad it is. That part always messes me up. It's 1 and 2 E. But the way I thought it was originally was not quite. All those drags, I gotta learn to just like, I can feel it in my shoulders. So I'm kind of tensing up trying to get it out. Yeah, I'm still just trying to make sure the rhythms are all good. I've been trying to play with this one recording I found of this guy who's playing at 113. He's really good, but I can't quite play it that fast. I might be able to now because I'm at 110. But whenever I started it, I could not. Let's see. Let's try to play along with him. Dude, it's just too fast. It is just too fast right there. You start throwing in all those drags, and it's like, whew. The extra 3 clicks, it does so much. Yeah, that's why I used the net. You know, that's hard. I don't I'm a kind of a bad percussionist in the sense that I don't know the rudiments on the chart as much. I know most of them, but sometimes, somebody will say a rudiment and I don't know what it is. I completely forgot what a flam accent 2 is. So this is flam accent 1. Nice and tripletized. And the flam accent 2 is dotted. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Or I guess you could tripletize and go triple, 1. That's also flam accent 2, but I kind of like never do that because it's a very rare part I play. And even more rare is really like squared off. It's kind of weird. and then it goes straight into the triplet. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And with the, I think that's hard, like getting that transition. Especially that fast, because I'm trying not to use too much finger, because I don't want to like be squeezing on the stick. But it's still just like a little too fast for my wrist sometimes, especially going into it. And then I can isolate it sometimes and get it kind of okay, and then I go back into it, and everything coming up before it is. And then by then, it's like all the pressure changes and stuff that I'm doing in the couple bars before, it's just making it really hard to hit. And then that's not hard. That's not easy either. All it is paradiddles, but it's accented on the diddle. And it's triplets. Yeah. Like that. Yeah, the fours, I have a love-hate relationship with them because I know what you're talking about. They go like, it's kind of hard to do. I still can't. I honestly am not the best at them. At least not in the good way. My left hand, I find it hard to get four, especially with that much power. But the fast ones, I kind of like those a little bit more because it kind of like has a little bit of a better feel to it. I think sometimes like the fours work big when it's fast. If you go like, except cleaner, that would be kind of cool. But the big ones, I was like, why would you want to play that? Like, what does that accomplish other than looking cool? Because to get those out, I find you have to like really squeeze the stick a lot, or I really don't know how. Because I know all those dudes are good. It's just so loud and hard. I kind of prefer like the other kind of writing styles, like the Blue Coats or Vanguard that does a little bit more of the like intricate stuff. Boston does really good at what they do, but their book is very much cadets. Like that is the Colin McNutt stuff. Like it's a certain brand, and I can appreciate that. Obviously, they're all amazing musicians. One of my good friends, Ty, actually marched cadets in I think 2016 or 17, and he's an amazing player. So I can see that they're all good, but just I think the writing style doesn't lend itself to showcase the technique that they use as good as possible. That's why I really like Vanguard's music, because it makes you do the really loud stuff, the really fast, choppy four stuff, the slower stuff, but also little intricate stuff and buzzes and like little rim shots and rim clicks and stuff. Like it kind of makes you be more of a like percussionist, I guess, than the drummer. And I know that if you put any of those guys in a situation where they're playing music like that, they'd be able to easily, play it, or maybe not easily, but they would be able to hang. Those guys are good. But I don't know. I think it's more the writing style than the way that they play. Although they do play very, very, very loud. They do play very hard, but that's drum corps, I guess. I think maybe my biggest critique about drum corps, and this isn't really coming from somebody's opinion that actually matters either, because I I didn't march world class or anything. I did march stars the 1.5 years technically, but uh, I don't know. I feel like everybody has different experiences. I know a bunch of friends that have done it and have loved it, but I think sometimes the actual education behind it is not great, and especially in the like younger cores, I guess, because whenever you to make the to make the Blue Devils, the Blue Coats, Boston Crusaders, you obviously have to be good at drums. Like you can't you can't get around it. And yeah, they do the experience camps and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's more about your writing style and like making the final product than it is about education, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's exactly what drum corps is for. But as a music educator, I really like the educational side. So I don't know. I guess, but the biggest critique of drum corps is sometimes not taught the best, and you can really hurt yourself if you're, not playing with good technique and you're really playing into the drum. You can get serious issues like tendonitis. I like, whenever I first started marching stars, I didn't play well. So my fulcrum right here, I was squeezing too hard, trying to do 16th note diddles, kind of like that. Not that ugly, and I wasn't doing that, but I was definitely squeezing and not letting the stick rebound. And we would burn it. We just now the problem with that is, had I been playing with good technique, it would have been easy. Like you can do that, that's much easier to burn instead of. And the spacing was good, rhythmic integrity was okay, but I just wasn't playing well. And that was less on the instructors, I think, and more of my inexperience, because all of that said, my experience at Stars, they're the reason I know everything I know and that I can play through stuff like this. Like, yeah, I learned music at LSU. I've been practicing on my own for a while too. So like that's definitely helped. But everything that I've been taught came from Stars, and that's where I kind of get my, at least my rudimental background knowledge. Obviously, for like the orchestral side of things, or like marimba literature, percussion ensemble literature, the academic side of music, I've been at LSU for the last however many years. So Dr. Dietz over there has definitely helped me with that. And I also have been taking lessons with Stanton Moore, who's helped me a lot on drum set and kind of exposed me to the jazz side of things. So I'm kind of dipping my toes in a little bit of everything right now. But fundamentals definitely came from Stars, and the staff there is awesome. I still talk to a lot of them today, and I still ask them for advice, and they're great teachers. But that's a very rare case in drum corps. So I don't know. Speech over. What sticks am I using? These are the Alan Abel sticks. I'm sorry, not Alan Abel. Andy Reamer sticks. They're kind of not pitch matched. Like this one's higher than this one. But I like the size of them, and I don't know. They're kind of like the bigger concert sticks. I wouldn't use Jim Casella's on this. I need something a little bit lighter than that, but these kind of fit the bill, I guess. All right, dude. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate it. This is my innovative percussion pad on top of my off-world pad. The off-world was cool for a while, but it's lower pitched, and I feel like it gives a little bit more. This feels like a better playing surface, and has I like the sound a little bit more. It's easier to hear the rhythms. marching solos or like drum corps solos or like contemporary stuff or I like the rhythm of conscious licks. I did number 2, but honestly all of them are pretty cool. It's like the De La Clusive marching band. Try the rhythm of conscious ones. I really like those. It's pretty cool. Rhythm of conscious number 2 is what I played. That one's pretty fun. That makes no sense. This is Heating the Rudiments by Will Coxon. And yeah, it's pretty beefy. It's a lot of drags. It uses like most of the rudiments. It says them on the bottom. It's got flam accues, 4 strokes, flam taps, flams, flam paradiddle, 3 strokes, triplet radom accues, flam accent 1 and 2, 9 strokes, all of the radom accues, single drags, double drags, 17 stroke rolls, drags. I said that already. It's kind of got everything. It's got paradiddles and triplets with accents on the diddle part. It's got 7, 13, 7 stroke rolls, 5 stroke rolls, flam accues, single paradiddles. It's literally got just about anything you could be asking for. The roughs are kind of hard if you play them the wrong way. The trick is you have to be light and slurry with them to fit the old school style. If you try to play this like Boston does, you're going to have a bad time. Like all of the 1 and 2, 1 and 2, triplet 1, da 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 da. It's kind of like ja da 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 da. And it's kind of like, it looks like a drag and a rough, and I guess technically it is, but I kind of think of it more as like a really open diddle, and I kind of think of it more as like a marching cadence, because that's kind of what this would be. I imagine somebody would march to this, and so having instead of like really square, trying to have it kind of flow into itself. So thank you, Mr. Nick, for putting that in the chat. Yeah, but likewise, it's the same thing. If you go into a drum corps trying to play old school, you're not gonna have an easy time either. So I kind of sometimes it's easy to say like, oh, okay, well, you know, drum corps plays bad, like I just kind of said, but that's also not true. It's just it's the new style. It's the way that things are going, and in a long time, we're gonna look back and we're gonna find the good things in it and see the bad things. And I always wonder, like whenever I grow up and I'm like the old teacher, I wonder what they're gonna be telling me. I play wrong or something, because like we all kind of roast our teachers sometimes, and we're like, he says let go of the stick, but he's squeezing the stick or something like that. I wonder what they're gonna say about me. He plays so hard. He's so old school. He got old man hands. It's gonna happen. Happens to everybody. So Jesus, it's like I don't. I kind of understand the style. I've been doing rudimental drums for about as long as any other thing else I've done in my life at this point, and I've also been taught by people like Troy Bro, who are really kind of rooted in the older ideas and like kind of have uh, that experience and the school of Marty Hurley and being on LSU drumline. It's just like kind of steeped in rudimental drums. But I didn't march back then, so I don't actually know. I just kind of know I can make educated guesses, but sometimes you know, sometimes it's not stylistically correct, and so I'm trying to make all these assumptions. But sometimes I feel like it just sounds too slurred. But at the same time, I don't think I'd want it to be really, like that. That is just kind of how it works, I guess. I'm auditioning for the Air Force Ceremonial Brass Band. I have to send in the pre-screening tape by November 2nd. And I'm feeling, I don't know, kind of excited about it. I have to record on Thursday, so I'm practicing for that. This is just part of the video audition. I'm also doing some marimba literature. I'm doing some contemporary, like marching snare drum literature, and I'm going to do. I say contemporary. It's literally the the LSU cadence for some modern stuff, and then some drum set styles. That's also true. I'm only pulling from what I know, so I'm kind of the more classical style kind of right now, because the way that this is presented too, this is presented more academically than my drum corps experience has. So I guess it takes on a different tone under the like umbrella of education, which it probably shouldn't, honestly. And that's probably another problem that's keeping me from truly getting what I need, is that I feel like I have to play academic music the academic way and the for fun stuff the for fun way, when in reality there is no academic music and there's no, or actually there's both of them, but they're not separate things. They're the same thing. Academic music can be fun, and fun music can be academic, and it's really hard to kind of blur those worlds together sometimes. Ooh. And thank you. Yeah, I hope I get past the pre-screening. I'm not exactly expecting to make the audition. It's the first audition I've ever taken for any kind of professional gig, and I haven't finished my undergrad yet, and I just don't. I'm confident in what I'm able to do, but I also realize that they can afford to take the best of the best, and I don't know. I think I stand a chance, but I also am not really expecting too much from it. So, but you got to do something, and worst that happens is I get some experience sending in audition tapes and getting some cool stuff that I can send. So, I don't know. It's good. Hoping to have a good experience. I am kind of stressing myself out over some of the stuff. Like I have to do. I'm playing some of Rhythm Song for marimba, and although I've gotten much better at marimba in the past, couple of years since I've been at college, it's still the thing I've been playing the least amount of. And rhythm song is so tonal and so stock, and everybody knows it. It's really popular and relevant in percussion literature. Is if you mess up, then everybody knows. One missed note ruins the whole chordal pattern, or hitting. I have a bad problem with overextending my mallets and hitting them on the edge of the bars, and getting like that wood on wood sound, which kind of sucks. And I also squeeze my fingers a little bit more, but it's getting better. It's always getting better. But yeah. If I could play it like that, that's pretty okay. Except for the stop. I did stop one time, so maybe not. Hey Ashton. It's kind of cool. Let's try putting only the backbeat on. I lost it. I lost it. Kind of hung in there, but I lost it. That's so hard. It's that. It's all of that. It's like two Radimacues next behind them. And then the other ones are low too. So it's like accent, 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 low, low, low. Yeah. Yeah, I tilt my head because I'm like trying to get my ears closer, kind of like focus. I close my eyes too a lot of times because it kind of helps me focus on the music and I can hear it better. Uh, but obviously, whenever you're playing like four people for a video, I'm not going to be doing this. This is mainly a practice thing. It's also probably because I'm going deaf, so or at least the reason why I'm going deaf. So. That's cool. Yeah, the paradiddles and sixlets. Technically, groups of just 3, but it's paradiddle, 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 paradiddle. That's a trick that I learned to kind of make the rudimental stuff kind of feel a little bit better. Is feel the accent on beats 1, 2, and 4, kind of like a drum set groove on in the background. And if you can kind of emphasize that, it gives the rudimental drumming kind of a little bit more of like a swing to it. Like it feels better as opposed to like 1 and 3, which doesn't sound bad, but it's doesn't make it feel good. See. Meanwhile, if you go 2, 3. And even though the people can't hear that, in your playing, you can feel it. It makes you play a little bit better, in my opinion. Everything feels good until I get to the end. It's just so choppy. So choppy. Kind of felt good, though. Thank you. That was weird. I don't know what that was. But thank you. Yeah, it is. Somebody asked me the other day, why do I live stream? Because even though I don't do it on YouTube too much, I did it on Facebook and YouTube, Instagram a lot. Sometimes I just get in a random mood where I want to, live event it, and I'll throw it on and practice for people. And I think kind of what it does is, one, it lets me see myself. Two, it lets me kind of interact with people, which is kind of cool. So it's still a little social. And I get to hang out with my drummer friends sometimes. They'll stop in. I get to talk drums with them, which is always a good time. People can give me comments, maybe, and I kind of like the idea of streaming anyway. So it's kind of cool. Uh, but I think the other thing is that it kind of makes you get out there, and it's a low stress way of adding some pressure. It's like the lowest of pressures being added of, okay, you're live, which is not quite the same as playing in front of people, but especially because I can't really see faces too much. But it is a way that I can get out there, and I enjoy it because especially now, it's kind of hard to play for people, and people are busy. People are doing school stuff. There's the COVID stuff going on, so it's just kind of hard to get people to watch. And sometimes, I don't need people to watch. Sometimes I just want to go work on it and show kind of some of the work I put in. I'm also maybe hoping that people can kind of take something from this, if anything, and like, I don't know, see how maybe I approach something and they need some help with it, or maybe they exposes them to something they haven't seen before in terms of whatever I'm playing, or just kind of letting people know that there's other people out there with similar interest in them as them. Because I know whenever I was little, I was looking at videos left and right on YouTube of all of the lot videos and LSU and everything like that. So everybody's videos that they put on YouTube got me into it. So I'm hoping maybe somebody can take inspiration and go do it themselves, So y'all should start YouTube channels. Follow your dreams. That was cool. This is a fun solo. I'm glad it happened. I'm glad it happened. I love this groove. That thing, that was kind of cool. It sounds really cool, the backbeat. Thank you. I also like this part. Oh, that was bad. I kind of wish it went like both up, but it goes. Tom, do you play drums? And if you do, how long have you played drums? Oh, that's awesome, dude. Where you go to school at, if you don't mind telling me? You don't have to if you don't want to. I know the chat's public. Just curious. Yeah, that's dope. That's kind of whenever I started playing drums too. My dad played drums, uh, but he was a drum set player, and he kind of didn't have too much of an education on it. He just kind of did it because he liked it. So I've been around drums since I was little, like a baby, but I only started learning at I only started learning in sixth grade. Sweet. Does your school have a drum line, or are you kind of just in retirement now? There you go, dude. At least you get to do that. It's awesome. I've always thought like I kind of forget how much band has been a part of my life until I realize it's my final season in a marching band and at least playing in one. So it's bittersweet because it's like, man, this is kind of everything I've done. And I'm at the top of my game from from here. It's like old man hands start to happen, start getting old, stuff happens. But I don't know. Hey, that's dope though. Being being in college jazz bands, man. Like that's something that I started getting into whenever I got into the last year or so is the jazz band. I was never in jazz band in high school. I didn't do jazz band for most of my college career, and then with the one semester I was in a lab band, which isn't the main jazz band. It's a different one. Uh, COVID happened. I played one song. I played one song on my concert, and then everything shut down for until now. So, but I am in a lab combo, so I'm still playing drum set. It's quickly becoming my favorite form of percussion. Like I love rudimental snare drum, but jazz drums, it just like drum set in general is awesome. I really like how expressive it is. It sucks, but at the same time, I still get to play. And yeah, it would be cool to get some live performances in, but nothing I can do about it. So I'm just glad I still get to say I get to do drum set. Because if it wasn't part of my school and it was something that I didn't have to practice for, I probably would have a hard time finding how to do it, you know. And I'm kind of glad I'm going more that route than say like the orchestral route, even though I obviously still want to learn there. Not only is it more chill, but I feel like at least with jazz, it's such a like real form of music making. Like you're sitting there going over the chord changes and the form, and that's it. You're not playing this on beat three and this on beat four and this. It's like no, you just kind of sit there and go for it, and you can as long as you're in time, you can do whatever you want. That's so much more freeing. As much as I love, doing or all that stuff. I've been doing it for a long time, and the jazz stuff is just it's so much more refreshing. So that's so true. That's so true. When you make like that eye contact and you're just both vibing and you're kind of building it up together like that, that's awesome. I'm still trying to get there. Uh, I didn't read music too well in high school, so coming into college I was kind of behind, and it's gotten better, but I still kind of flub like notation. I think it's just a mental barrier at this point. It's not that I can't read the music. It's the mental barrier of seeing sheet music and remembering, oh God, that used to freak me out. And so now I kind of, whenever I'm reading charts, sometimes I kind of overthink it and it doesn't happen. But I also find myself sometimes realizing I need to think more about what I'm playing. But I guess that's just the nature of not doing something for as long. You got to mess up before it gets better. It also is kind of hard because the drummer like supposed to lead the band. It's like the drummer and the bass player kind of tag team it, but the drummer is the beat. And if you stop or you mess up or you go for a fill and it doesn't happen, you just ruin the whole energy of everything. And that's kind of scary. But like I said, that's more of a mental barrier than it is skill thing. I feel like everybody, no matter how old they are, is going to do that every now and then. So I guess it's kind of silly of me to think about that. Yeah. All right. So that's that. So true. All right, I've been at this for a minute. I got class tomorrow. I should probably head to bed. Uh, Thanks you for everybody who's watching. I kind of wish I could see more and interact more. Uh, I mean, I appreciate you, Tom, for staying here and chatting, bro. Like that's awesome. I love getting on here and talking about drums. It's awesome, and hopefully we can get some more people, just so we can have some more of a chat going on. Sometimes it gets a little stale in here, but thank you for everybody who's watching. I appreciate it, and I got all my parts to build a new computer. Got new motherboard, new processor, new RAM, new SSD. So hopefully I'll be able to kind of get together more of a permanent setup, and possibly, I don't know. YouTube seems to work pretty well, but if people would prefer like a Twitch channel or some other platform, I'm open for suggestions. But I kind of have the subscribers on here, and it's easy enough. So I don't know. Like I said, open for suggestions. But either way, thanks everybody. Appreciate it, and you all guys have a great night.